Good morning, it's Rebecca from Rebecca Inc. Today we are going to draw a goldfinch. It looks kind of like this and all nice and bright and yellow. What you need to join in is grab a piece of paper, a marker, a pencil, and an eraser. So pause me and gather up your supplies and come right back. You are going to start with your pencil. Let me move my guide over here. You're going to start with your pencil. I'm going to use a marker so that you can see me a little bit better. We can thank Rhonda for this idea. She's been my idea girl. Okay, we're going to start in the center of the paper with a nice little oval, angled up to the left-hand corner. Oh, do your paper horizontally today so we can get in all these feathers. Nice little circle or oval. You're going to go around and around, nice and light with your pencil. My marker's not working. There we go. Nice and light on your paper with your pencil. You'll see on mine, my oval is messy. Your oval should look like this. It will be messy. This is a practice in being patient and forgiving with yourself. So don't worry about things being perfect. Up above that, we're going to draw a little circle about this big for the head of our goldfinch. When I was saying that this morning in my intro video, I kept saying goldfish. Goldfinch. Round and round you go for your circle. Now, up off of that circle, right about here, we're going to do a little beak. It's sort of a triangular shape, but instead of just drawing a straight triangle, we're going to give it a little bit more character by making it arced. So you're going to plant your wrist right about here, touch your pencil to that circle, and arc it off. When you plant your wrist, you force your hand to move in the natural motion it can go in. Now from the tip of that, arc back to the circle and go into your circle a little bit. My marker is being finicky. There we go. So you get a nice little angled shape there. Now inside that triangular shape, we're going to slice that right in half with another arced line. Then we're going to connect those lines with a little arc there and a little arc there. They kind of come to a point in the center there. Where we have that top section of the beak, we're going to draw a little circle right here. It goes down to where the mouth opens, that center part. And then we're going to draw a little arc off of that headed to the back of the head, just like that. This part here will be black, and these shapes will help us get that shape that they have in their feathers. Now right where those two shapes meet up, we're going to add in a little circle for our eye. It tucks right into that. Just like that, you're going to plant your wrist and just draw that shape with your fingers. Inside that, another little circle for a highlight, and if you want another one, give it another one. The more highlights you give, the sweeter your goldfinch will look. We're going to give it a little arc to give a little character and a few little dots, kind of just coming around. Let's add in some connecting triangles. Now off of the front, I'm calling this the front, off of the front of the face, or we're going to do an arced triangle. So plant your wrist and give it a nice little arc, connecting our head circle to our body oval. Now off of the back of the head, just do a nice straight line there. You know, as straight as you can go. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's move on to our wings. The goldfinch have beautiful wings. They're a little yellow at the top and then striking white and black patterns on the back. So we are going to do our wings with an oval. It's going to live right about here on the body and off of the body, just like that. And at the base of that oval, let's do a triangle, just like that. This one's not arced, it's just nice and straight. Make it as long as you need to have them meet up. If it gets exaggerated, that's fine. It'll give your drawing some cool character. Let's move back up to the front of this wing. We're going to add in an oval right about here. That's going to be about this big, just like that. Now, from that oval, the very tip of that oval, we're going to draw a little arced line like that, and then going the other way, an arced line from there over. This is going to help us get from here up, they're all yellow, and then from here down, they're black and white. So that's going to help us know where does that live, and it's going to give us the shape of it. Onto this wing. Let's get some of those cool shapes going. We're going to do a little oval right here. It's going to kind of live the top part of this oval, but then it's going to cut in. So he's got one feather that's tucked back. It's about that big. And then we're going to do some mimicking lines inside there. From the little, I'm going to call this like his shoulder oval, we're going to draw from there a little mimicking line for that oval we just drew over. And then just up from that, a little mimicking line. This little stripe that we just created is going to be white. Now off of here, we're going to draw a kind of a triangle shape there. But we need it to be arced. So move your wrist or move your paper, arc your line by planting your wrist. Do one just like that. And then inside that, another one of those. And let's see, do we need another one? No. This little line here will be white, this little section here. Now, off of that, the back end has, if you were to see their feathers, they're folded like this, and they have some really pretty white feathers there. But all we see when we're looking at it from a profile is just like a little hint of white along the top there. So we're just going to kind of give ourselves a little squiggly line that will not get colored in black. You don't have to do this top line. I'm just trying to accentuate it so you can see just a little squiggly line there. Off of our body oval, let's do these very back feathers. We're going to do a triangle. It's going to be just about this big here, off of that back. Now this triangle is going to get divided up into smaller triangles. So from the tip of the triangle, we're going to draw one line coming back, like this. And then from the base of that triangle, we're going to go the other way, like that. Now, inside that section, we're going to draw an arced feather that comes out like this and back into our triangle, like that. And on top of that, we're going to do a connecting triangle, make it kind of nice and long, and give it a little edge as it goes back. My marker's being finicky, so I'm sorry if these lines are hard to see. All right, we need one more here. We're going to do a little triangle that goes from the top feather out and back. So we ended up with kind of one arced triangle, two arced triangles, and then a third triangle in that back section there. Now let's add on some feet. Let's go up to the front part here. We're going to add in a little rectangle right here. It lives just down from that shoulder oval right there. And then we're going to go a skinny rectangle down like that. You can plant your wrist. Go over and over your shapes until you get them how you want them to be, and you're drawing nice and light. Now we're going to do a couple of diagonal rectangles. So off of that, about the same width, we're going to do one rectangle there. And then we're going to do another rectangle, but you're only going to see a little bit, so it looks more like a triangle. And at this point, I think we need to draw in our tree branch. So from the edge of, let's go from that top toe there, that first rectangle we drew, let's go from where that ends up to the corner of our paper. And then you can just take it on back. So you're just drawing a diagonal line, and you're letting that be an organic shape, because tree branches aren't straight lines. And then just not so far beyond that, maybe a little over 1/4 of an inch, you're going to draw another one. So this is the little branch our guy is hanging on to. Now we need to connect that foot to that branch. So we're just going to do a little connecting triangle there. And we're going to draw the back toe. It's going to come down with a little rectangle and then over with a little rectangle. He's holding on there. Now let's do the back leg. It's going to live right about here. And we're going to just see, we're not going to see this little part that connects into the body. We're just going to see that long, skinny rectangle that comes off of the body. And then we're going to point a long, skinny rectangle this way. And then another one coming off of that, point it down with a little triangle at the end for our claw. And then we just need a little connecting triangle on the other side. I'm going to fill in my tree branch so you can see that connecting triangle there. You see that? All right, so we are all set. Those are all the things we need to draw our goldfinch. So let's set down our pencils and switch to our markers. I am using a Sharpie. You can use whatever kind of writing tinsel you have as long as you can't erase it. You'll be good to go. We're going to start up at the top of the head. We're going to go from where that little arched line is, from there over to the beak, tracing right along the top part of that circle that you drew. From there, we're going to hook it around that little circle and that arched line. So this is the dark part on the top of their head. Let's go from there. We're going to do the beak. We're going to actually draw over every line that we drew on the front part of that beak, so arcing off of the face, and the part that would make it their mouth, and then back, and then give a hint of that little arched line there. Moving on, inside their face for their eye, go ahead and draw around the whole circle we drew. And then draw around your highlights so you don't accidentally fill them in. And then whatever's left over, color that in. Then we're going to do the little arched line behind and add in the cute little dots. Very good. All right, now we're going to go, let's go down the back here. From the top part of the head, we're going to go around that circle onto that flatter connecting triangle and around the top part of that oval and stop when you get to that arc. Let's go back up to this side. We're going to go around the face circle, connect onto that little arched triangle and down to the leg there. Around the face circle, arched triangle, around the body oval, and I'm stopping at that leg. For the leg, we're going to draw 3/4 of the way around. So we're not doing the top half, we're doing the bottom half of that rectangle, and just go up just a little bit further than half. Let's just do the foot since we're right here. We're going to go over the front part, the top part of that rectangle, and then the bottom part of the rectangle. And from there, we're just going to hook on to the outside lines of all the other rectangles. So trace around the outside lines. So that shape kind of becomes one smooth motion there. And then we're going to draw in the little triangle on top. And on the bottom one, we're just going to go around the outside lines. We won't draw where they connect. Trace around all of those. My shapes are getting fatter as I trace over them with my marker because they're pretty tiny, and that's okay. If that happens to you, that's fine. All right, let's hop back on here, back onto the tummy of our bird. We're going to go around the oval and up this first triangle. So you're pushing that other leg to the back when you do this, and then we're going to go up this triangle and stop right there. Now let's figure out this complicated wing. It looks complicated, but when you see it all done, you'll be like, oh, not complicated. We're going to draw where we had that arc and then the arc going the other way. We're going to draw over those shapes, just like that. All of this, if you're going to color it in, all of this would turn yellow. From here, we're going to go connect from the tip of what we just drew, draw around the front part of that oval, and then we're going to draw all the way down to the tip of that feather. So connect from the front part of that, tuck it in there, and then hop on that next line all the way back. Now we're just going to outline where things get turned white. So where we had these two mimicking lines, those are going to create a white stripe. Actually, let's draw on this back part. We're just going to draw straight down that triangular shape there. And now we're going to do this little mimicking lines that we drew. That part inside that is white. Then from there, we're going to hop down and do that triangle, that arced triangle shape that we did. This part turns white. That part will be white, and this part will be white. And then along this ridge where you had those little jutty lines, that part will be white. The rest of it all gets filled in black. So let's go ahead and do that now so that you can see what I am talking about. If I fill mine in faster than you fill yours in, pause me and fill it in, and then you can hit play, and I'll be right here. There's no right or wrong way to fill these shapes in. You just want to make sure to leave the white parts white. If you like to color yours in long, smooth strokes, go for it. If you like to do it in little round circles, go for it. Or if you like to go back and forth, or even a combination of all of that, that is fine. Now I used the shapes that I used to get these shapes. Let me say that again, that was confusing. The shapes I chose were chosen specifically to help us get the white marks as well as help us know the body shape, or like where the bones would be on our little bird here. So as you see, it's sort of this oval that we drew here that helps us know, oh, this might be an overlapping feather there. So that's why I chose the shapes that I chose, and we ended up coloring most of that in. Let's do this little top part on his head while we're at it. Let's fill that in nice and black. See, fill in that whole shape. It kind of looks like a little teardrop when I look at it. Now if you were to see these guys out and about, this part might have a little bit of yellow mixed in with it, or it might not. It seemed like they kind of varied. All right, on to the back here. Where we had, let's start from working down. This first triangle here gets all filled in nice and dark. This would be like the other side of our bird's top feather there. Now we're working on its tail. This next triangle, you can go ahead and draw in where it meets up. This part stays white. And then the next triangle, this part stays white. And this center part here is going to end up being made of a portion of a triangle and then that arced triangle. This part gets colored in black. So go ahead and fill that in black. If it helps you at any point to rotate your paper, feel free to do that. I do that a lot when I'm drawing, but I don't feel coordinated enough to do that and match it back up with my camera. All right, now we're going to do this next little leg. We're going to draw the outside lines, the rectangle onto the connecting triangle. Then we're going to go the rectangle and trace around the outside lines all the way down. Rectangle, triangle, rectangle, and stop when you get to the top of your tree branch. We're going to let the tree branch push that connecting triangle to the other side of the branch. So let's go ahead and draw over our tree branch all the way down. You've done all the heavy lifting, so now you're just kind of tracing what you had. Take a second to make sure it makes sense, because as you're drawing, if things get like a little thicker or thinner, make sure that your branch lines up where you want it to line up. Like right there, connecting to that toe and then that top part. And you have just created, you guys, a really sweet little goldfinch. Let's add one little detail along this top feather here. This portion of their body would all be yellow, and then on the back tail, this would be like a lighter yellow or more of a white. It's not as brilliant as the white on their feathers, but this back part would be whiter. Where this top feather meets up, let's just give that a hint of that's a feather. So we're just going to kind of cut into it a little bit with kind of a motion like that. Back and forth and back and forth. So it's not like a solid line. These lines feel nice and crisp. This one does not. Okay, one more little thing. We're going to add in just a little hint of a shadow on our legs. Just like that. Just fill in the top little section with your marker. And we are all set. We're ready to erase. So set down your marker. Grab your eraser. I'm going to switch to my original guide because I drew this in eraser with you, and I will erase right with you. Steady your paper with your non-drawing hand and go ahead and erase. You can use the back of a pencil. You can use a pink eraser if you have a pink eraser from school, or I like a white eraser. So that's what I have. Those are my favorite. If you have a line that's a little bit darker, go over that a few times, and don't forget to get your feet and your tree branch. Send me your drawings in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you're drawing. Let me know what you would like to draw, and we'll do that. If you send me your drawings, you can find them on my website, RebeccaInc.com, under the Interact tab. You can also see some of my work on there. You can find me on Instagram and see what I work on in the studio. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Spoonflower for fabric designs, all kinds of fun stuff. Thank you for drawing with me today. I hope you have a good day. Stay healthy and stay positive, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.